see to make a living, yeah.
All right, so Conway the Machine dropped the first single for his upcoming album, From King to a God, which should be dropping September 11th, 2020. This track, Lemon, features Method Man. And I'm just a really big fan of this cover art. Like, the bees and the upside down woo symbol, which is usually just meth symbol, and then just Conway's face. Anyways, this is the first track that was released from his album, and it's time to break it down. So, like usual, we're gonna go bar for bar, essentially, and explain all lyrics. So, starting off with Conway's verse. There's technically an intro, but it doesn't really add anything other than the stuff that we're expecting from Griselda these days. So Conway's verse goes, look, play my position in the kitchen, I'm working, whip it bag in half and 50s, hit the strip and I serve it. If it's an issue, trust I'm coming to get you in person, with the extendo throwing at you till I flip the Suburban. All my businesses flourish, I'm on my way to my yacht. Put a 6 on the dock, just like Julius Erving. Damn, I know my dude's sister is hurt and he caught a new case, but got his sentences concurrent, that ain't get him discouraged. Got another homie in prison for murder. He would let his gun clap and fire at anyone who would try it. Watching his baby mothers cry. I got numb, I can't lie. His mama ain't shed a tear. She know that come with this life. Thought about it. His kids was young when son got the time. Won't see his daughters graduate. Can't teach his son how to drive. Now you see where I get this ambition from and this drive. The machine, I'm iller than anyone that's alive. Look, bought the Benz truck and the Maybach with no lights. Straight from the dealership, not from the auction with the low price. A long way from selling white and running from the police. You dudes know who flow nicest. Raised the bar like coke prices. Fronted the homie, caught a joint, he stopped answering. Been my dude since grammar school. I don't know how to handle it. Flea said, you leave the knots in your chest, they gon' turn to cancer then. In other words, he's saying don't let it slide, you gotta handle it. So, Conway's verse, it's pretty structured. He goes from topic to topic, but it still relates back to the whole sort of thing. The whole overall theme of the song is really, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Although that doesn't sound super obvious just from listening to the lyrics the first time or the second time. After a few listens, that becomes pretty evident, I'd say. He starts off with, he plays his position, he's in the kitchen working. That's just what he does. And this could be referring back to his younger days when he was in the kitchen working. But now he's in the kitchen, which is the studio working. Like, he's writing these rhymes. If it's an issue, trust I'm coming to get you in person. Conway isn't the type of person who's going to be like tweeting at you or like trying to talk to you through text or anything. Like, if there's an issue, he's going to pull up. Like, we're going to pull up and you're going to see what's really wrong. With the extendo thrown at you till I flip the Suburban. In this, I think he's just talking about the vehicle, a Suburban. And like, he's just going to come at you until that thing just flips. And if I'm understanding it correctly, because he's coming at you with an extendo, he's probably going to shoot that car till it blows up and flips. Also, the boom, 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 boom ad-libs after that probably add to that in this case. He sees all his businesses flourishing. This is now about Griselda, but it could have been in the past about his other businesses and his other sources of income. When he says his dude's sister is hurting, he caught a new case. He's talking about how his homie got locked up again. He caught another case. And then his other homie's in jail for murder. And then Conway talks about how he's one of the guy that's in prison for murder is one of those guys that's reliable, like, or at least he makes it sound like that, because he says he would let his gun clap and fire at anyone who would try it. So that could be if someone's coming at him or if someone's coming at people that are around him and that he cares for. And then the line where he says, watching his baby mothers cry, I got numb, I can't lie, and his mama ain't shed a tear, she know this come with this life. Conway has seen this time and time again. Like, obviously, like, it hurts at first, but I mean, I can definitely see, like, the more and more you see people get locked up, like, the more you're just like, that's just how it is. That's just part of life. So clearly his baby mother's upset because maybe she's not even in that life. But his mother knows this because, I mean, it's likely that she still lives like right down the street from him. That's often how things go. Especially if like they haven't really got out the hood. Like, it sounds like these dudes are still there. Like, and clearly they had to shoot someone. And then you start to think about it. And this is something that Conway talked about on, I keep forgetting the song that he did with Freddie Gibbs, but how he's not always there for his kids. Like, he's talking about how his friend that's in prison is not going to be able to see his daughter graduate or teach his son how to drive. Like, these are things that he just cannot do because he's locked up. But Conway technically could do this because he's not locked up, but he has to work on his rap career still. So it's kind of that struggle there. And then I guess with that line, now you see where I get this ambition from and this drive, the machine. So him growing up, and well, not even growing up, like just him being around these sorts of things has given him the ambition and the drive to do this rap thing and really do well with it. Like, he doesn't want to have to go back to the streets where he could potentially shoot someone and get stuck in prison for life. And then he's talking about how he bought the Benz truck and the Maybach with no lights, and he bought it from the dealership. This is funny because he's kind of poking fun at the rappers who like lease cars for their like music videos and shit, or like they kind of make it sound like they bought this straight cash, but really they just put a down payment on it so they could lease it. Yeah, a long way from selling white and running from the police. That was just him trying to make it sound like a rhyme with the police. Him selling white, I mean, cocaine. He no longer does that. Well, as far as we're aware, because he is in this rap career. And maybe he could be talking, like, another thing that I just thought about when I said police again, lights are kind of white. Maybe he's talking about that? That's a stretch. And then towards the end of his verse, he begins to start talking about his friend from elementary school, essentially, and how, like, he doesn't know how to handle what he's doing. So he hears what Flea said, and Flea said, yo, you leave these knots in your chest, they go and turn to cancer then. They're not literally going to turn to cancer, but they're going to eat away at you. Like, this is something that's clearly bothering him. Like, don't let it just sit there and, like, don't dwell on this sort of thing. That's why, in other words, don't let it slide. You got to handle it. Now, this could just be like, yo, go take care of him. Do what you got to do. Or, just go handle him. You know what I mean? So, meaning go take care of him. Yeah, and that last bit kind of turns into like when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Like, well, actually the whole verse, like when he's talking about his business is flourishing, like he has lemonade now, but then he talks about the lemons, which are like the potential of like just kind of seeing your close, like people close to you getting locked up for things that they're doing because they're kind of stuck in the hood still. So you take that information and you're like, no, I'm going to focus on my rap career because I don't want that shit to happen, and I don't want to be without, like, I don't want to have to not be able to see my kids grow up. Like, he doesn't want that to happen. And then the last bit when he's talking about his homie, like, who he has to take care of, like, he's like, damn, like, this is definitely a lemon, and damn, I guess I gotta make lemonade out you. This then goes into the chorus, which I'm just kind of whatever on. So it goes, let that lemon squeeze, let the lemon squeeze. And then lemon squeeze, lemon squeeze. Don't tell my dudes stay safe, tell them to stay dangerous. Auntie hit that stem, almost fainted. Fiends love me in every ghetto, I'm famous. Had some young boys pull up, do you heinous. Lemon squeeze, lemon squeeze, lemon squeeze, lemon squeeze. Not much to that chorus that I have to really tell y'all about. Then we get to the second verse from Method Man, and I'm going to try my best to do this, but his verse is just, It just keeps going. It's like, when I first heard it, I was just like, my jaw dropped. I'm like, oh my God, he just keeps going. How's he doing this for so long? Anyways, here's his verse. Capone and Noriega watching CNN. Black whip, black tint, y'all ain't CNN. It's con and meth, spread the word, boy. You CNM. No, CNM. These rappers in the scope, you never seeing them. Killer Bees back in the building with machine in them. We creaming them with pockets of dirty money. I'm clean again. Ain't gotta tell you I'm dope, just stick the needle in. The ghost off white, big enough to fit this eagle in. 'Tis the season then, why? Ask why. I has my reasons then. My birds don't need no seasoning. Methodian this evening. Now ask yourself, is that really the air that you're breathing in? I think outside of the box, then I find a box I can keep them in. Or just leave it then, like the bouncer won't let your people in. People said they want that old meth, well this the prequel then. I get medieval, some people won't make the prequel then. Leave them in the fetal position, F it, I'm leaving them. I use the system, you cowards use euphemisms. Women call me super daddy, my powers is supervision. Who gave you permission to speak, to learn you listen. Learn to listen to a different MC, you'll learn the difference. In the addition, if you miss an MC, sign this petition. Get a fraction of that faction, subtracted my division. I'm a boss, what that means? I make decisions, / villain. I will kill an MC to make a living. Yeah. Jesus Christ, Method Man. You've been doing this for 27 years, at least. How are you still doing it so well? Like, honestly, I think Method Man just won this competition, if there was one between the two of them. Like, oh my God. Anyways, breaking down his lyrics. Capone and Noriega watching CNN. Capone and Noriega, CNN. Black whip, black tint, you ain't seeing in CNN. It's con and meth, spread the word, boy, you CNN. No seeing them. These rappers in the scope, you ain't never seeing them. He just continues that CNN like rhyme scheme for so long. And he started it off with Capone and Noriega. Like, is he just, like, is everything just referring back to Capone and Noriega? Maybe. Like, it's just so good there. We creaming him with pockets of dirty money, I'm clean again. Cream, cash rules everything around me. But you can kind of also think of cream, like what color does cream remind you of? White. And white is cocaine. And the dirty money is from the cocaine money. But now he's clean again because, well, also he's older now and he probably has other sources of income, mostly from Wu-Tang and his own albums, but you know what I mean. I ain't gotta tell you I'm dope, just stick the needle in. Do I have to tell you? The ghost's off-white, big enough to fit this eagle in. He's talking about a Rolls-Royce Ghost that is off-white, and I don't know if most people are aware of this, but you know the emblem that's on a Rolls-Royce? It's that eagle. It can be tucked away too. It could also be referencing other things, which I'm not 100% sure on. It could just be talking about cocaine and sticking in like an eagle, meaning like maybe the money for a Royce or something like that. I think outside the box, then I found a box I can keep him in. He's basically trying to find a way to trap y'all. And this could be really talking about a lot of things, but I think in this case, he's talking about the rhyme or like his verse itself. So he thinks outside of the box for a typical verse, and then he finds a box for all his verses to be put in. Or he could be talking about, like, still his verses are thinking outside the box, but find a box to keep him in, meaning keep all his fans in this box to like kind of trap him to listen to what he had to say. Or if we're going with Coke references again, the box being, I'm your only supplier. Like, you only gonna come to me. Like, this is the box you in. You come in to me. Or just leave it then, like the boxer won't let your people in. Sorry, bouncer won't let your people in. He could also be making the case for this box to be an exclusive sort of thing, where only a certain few are allowed in. And maybe he's talking about it in the sense that like, this is a feature. Maybe there's only certain people that he keeps in his box, which could be seen as his circle, that he'll do features for or work with. People say they want the old meth. Well, this is the prequel then. Meth is back on his old shit. That's that doesn't really need that much explanation. But then I get medieval. Some people won't make the prequel then. Leave him in the fetal position. F it, I'm leaving him. He gets medieval, meaning he gets violent. Medieval times were pretty violent in terms of like weaponry and like torture and stuff. So these people who he's getting medieval on won't see the prequel that he's creating. I think this could also just be talking about the upcoming tape that he has. I forgot what it was or who he's doing it with, but he has something coming out soon. And maybe what he has coming out soon is the prequel. The women call me Super Daddy, my powers of supervision. That's kind of funny because it's kind of like he's saying that these women call me Super Daddy, cool, whatever. Like that's just a term that these women are calling him. But then he takes it seriously and makes people ask him, like, or he's supervising them. And then the next part where he says, who gave you permission to speak? When you're younger, like you have to ask permission to do a lot of things, including speaking. So he's kind of like tying that together. Learn to listen to a different MC, you'll learn the difference. In addition, if you miss an MC, sign this petition. I think he's talking about people who listen to other rap, like the more popular rap nowadays. And he's like, yo, listen to a different MC. Like you ain't gotta keep listening to the same person. And you'll start to see the difference between all these MCs. And then he talks to his fans who are like, yo, we miss you, Meth. Where you been, Meth? He's like, hey, just sign this petition. I'll be back. I just also like the line where he says, I'm a boss. What that means, I make decisions / villain. I'll kill an MC to make a living. That's funny. Because a lot of people are kind of seen as a villain when they hop onto someone's song and they just out-rap the motherfucker. Like, yo, bro, I put you on my song, but I didn't expect you to rap me like that. Jeez. Anyways, yeah, no, that about wraps up all I have to say about this. I'm sure there's more to it. And as always, let me know in the comments what I've missed. But this is a really dope track. And the production is so good. Derringer is just so good. Like, he's been hyping up From King to a God for so long. And it got to the point where I was almost worried that the hype, like it wouldn't live up to the hype. But if this is the first single that he's choosing to put out for this album, and like given the rest of the track list that's out, like bruh, this is gonna be dope. I got nothing else to say. This is a dope song and I'm really excited for this album. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this song and if I misinterpreted anything or if I missed something entirely, because I'm sure I did. Because these rhymes are actually deeper than they sound at first. But yeah, let me know what you think and like and subscribe if you want to see me break down more tracks. I wasn't expecting to do 2 this week, but here we are. Anyways, thank you for watching and stay safe out there.